So, welcome devotees, Prabhuji and Mataji to today's class. We'll continue with chapter 12, that is devotional service of Bhakti Yoga. The climax of the Bhakti Yoga section, that is section 2 or part 2 of Bhagavad Gita, is in the chapter number 12. And Lord is very, very merciful. He's telling Arjuna now that how one can fix his mind and intelligence on Krishna, number one. And in this section, he's also telling how one can practice if is not able to fix his mind. So what he could do, the different type of other worship that he can do, that is described. And then if that is not possible, then at least non-fruitive activities, that is surrendering the result of activities to Lord Krishna, that can be done. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga can be followed. And if that is not possible, then one can just cultivate knowledge, do some kind of, tyag, or then you can also do some kind of meditation or dhyanam. So that is the gradation of bhakti from highest to lowest. The highest bhakti, of course, is Ananya Bhakti. There is no other than Krishna, in the mind and intelligence, or for the senses also. And thereafter, now before we proceed, I will just try to summarize what is given ahead in these verses, from verse number 8 to 12, that is the 13 verses. 8 to 20, rather, sorry, 13 verses. In fact, bhakti, we know, devotional service is dear, it is supreme. Lord Krishna has established right from chapter 2, 7, 9, and 10. 11 again, last he says that what is the need to do all these things. So ultimately, supremacy of bhakti is, or devotional service is already established by Lord himself. But bhakti, for us to know, can be divided into certain groups. First is Samanya Bhakti. Samanya Bhakti is just that, like a person who is a householder, before going to his work, he just bows down before his deity in the puja room or at the altar, and that is Samanya Bhakti. He is not neither attachment, no rituals, nothing. He is doing it on his own without following any rules and regulations of devotional service. Then there is Sadhana Bhakti. So first is Samanya Bhakti, second is Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti is practicing devotional service. In Sadhana Bhakti, there are two forms only. One is Vedhi Sadhana Bhakti. Vedhi Sadhana Bhakti means following the rules and regulations, because there is no spontaneous emotion or love to serve Krishna. But because the spiritual master has said, or because he has read, somebody has read in the scriptures that we should do bhakti of Lord Krishna. So he is doing this kind of bhakti that is called Vedhi Sadhana Bhakti, that is following just following the instructions of the spiritual master or a guru, or following what one has read from the scriptures. Then there is Raganuga Bhakti. In Raganuga Bhakti, one follows the scriptural injunctions, follows the principles of devotional service, and also has got spontaneous love and emotion for serving Krishna. So this is Raganuga Bhakti. So Sadhana Bhakti has two elements. First type is Vedhi Sadhana Bhakti, in which rules, regulations as prescribed by the spiritual master or scripture, they are followed. Second is Raganuga Bhakti, because person has got emotional attachment. Then there is Bhava Bhakti, and last stage, the most elevated stage or highest stage is Prema Bhakti. So now this is one classification which is given in Nectar of Devotion, written by Srila Rupa Goswami. So we have to understand what kind of bhakti we are doing. In fact, we are all practicing bhakti. We are in the stage of sadhana bhakti. We are perhaps sometimes Vedic sadhana bhakti, sometimes Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So this is one type of classification. Now, another type of classification, which is we are going to say, which Lord Krishna has mentioned in this chapter, is Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti, one is devoting his all internal senses and external senses into service of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, if one is not able to perform Ananya Bhakti, then one can fix his mind only on Krishna. By fixing mind on Krishna, one day he will develop a desire to attain Krishna and develop pure devotional service. Even if this is abhyas. So first is, in fact, Ismail. Now, verse number 8, we'll see that verse number 8 we have covered. There are two things which are mentioned here in verse number 8. Verse number is Maye Vaman Adhastra. That is, always fix your mind on me. Fix your mind upon me. Maye Vaman Adhastra. Adhastra. Second is second part, that is, keep your mind focused always on me. My buddhim nivesha, that is, invest your intelligence unto me. So there are two sections. So first part says it is called Smaran Maye Man Adhastva Adhatvasya. That is Smaran Atmika Bhakti. And second is Mai Buddhim Niveshaya, that is Manan Atmika Bhakti. So this is done with the senses. So both internal senses, that is mind and intelligence, are used in devotional service of Lord Krishna. And if somebody is not able to do this, Manan, Chintan, and focusing his attention, mind and senses, mind and intelligence on Krishna, then Krishna gives another option to such a person. Then he says that just try to fix your mind on me, that is, do Abhyas Yoga. And what is Abhyas Yoga? Chant the holy name, keep fasting, eat prasadam. So these are external. In fact, they are not internal basically. But of course, no, it is internal because Abhyas is related to chanting. We are using, and then second aspect, if his internal senses are not used, or one is not capable or one is not able to use internal senses, then he can use external senses in devotional service. So that is given in verse number 9, and that external senses can be used like distribution of books, so serving the deities by various ways, by cleaning the temple. So, but a person who is able to do external and internal senses both in the service of Krishna or devotional service of Krishna, he is Ananya Bhakt. He is the supreme-most. This is what Lord says. Then, because of certain social or other reasons, one cannot do internal and external, then one can do just Nishkam Karma. Nishkam Karma we have already seen that Lord has mentioned in chapter 2. Nishkam Karma or Karma Yoga in third and chapter 3 and 5, both were Karma Yoga. So in chapter number 3, Lord has mentioned that just if you can't do internal purification, internal devotional service, use internal organs like mind and intelligence unto me. You can't do external service for social, family, or other reasons. Then just do Nishkam Karma. Whatever activities you are doing, offer the result to me. And if you are not able to do Nishkam Karma Yoga, then develop knowledge, jnana, develop practice meditation, and practice detachment or renunciation. So this is the highest, from highest to the lowest form of devotional service. Progressive stages. They are progressive also because one may start with, with sadhana bhakti, then may be elevated to bhava bhakti, and ultimately to prema bhakti, where everything belongs to Krishna. And bhava bhakti means that one is emotionally so attached that every time he is thinking of Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, and doing everything for Krishna. And prema bhakti, there is the Lord and devotee are just become one. The person does not think about himself, his sense gratification. He is always thinking of Krishna and doing all activities, all his sense organs, all his sense objects, using for the service of Lord Krishna. That is prem, or ultimate stage of bhakti. So we discussed two types of classification. Bhaktis, one was Samanya Bhakti, then Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti has two types, the Vedic Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. The next stage, higher stage, is Bhava Bhakti. All the scriptures, all the great souls which we have discussed so far are mostly in a Bhava Bhakti state. Bilva Mangal Thakur was in a Bhava Bhakti state. And then the ultimate stage is Prema Bhakti, and that is available to Radharani and gopis and herds and cowherds of Vrindavana and Mathura. They are Prem Bhakti. For them, Krishna is not God, he is just their, Krishna and Radharani, they are just their family members. So they are at a supreme stage of devotional service so far as residents of, pure residents of Vrindavan and Mathura are concerned, and also the cowherd boys and girls and gopis, and of course Radharani is the supreme. So this is the simple background. In the second section, Lord discuss what makes one dear, what endears one to Lord Krishna. That is, whom does Krishna love most? So these qualities are given. Again, they are those qualities are divided into two categories. One is primary category and second is secondary category. Primary category is only devotional service. Krishna says, one who renders devotional service unto me, he is he is most dear to me. Then he describes many other secondary qualities which are also dear to him, which also make devotee dear to Krishna if one possesses those qualities. So we'll discuss those qualities. This is just to make a synopsis of what we are going to study today. Verse number 8 we have already discussed, and this graphic representation we have done. This is verse number 9. Yes, any Mataji or Prabhuji would like to read. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah. Prabhuji, may I?
Yeah, Dubey Prabhuji first you, then Pratibha Mataji will say.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Shila Mataji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yeah. Ita chittam samdatum na saknusi mai sitaram abhaisa yogini tattva mama ichha dhananjaya. My dear, oh winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principle of bhakti yoga. In the way you will develop a desire to attend me.
To attend me. Thank you, Prabhuji. So what are the immediate question comes, the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. What are those regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga? We know that 4 regulated principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and of course, no intoxication, meat eating, and no gambling. So these are 4 regulated principles. And but in addition, other principles are chanting holy name, keeping fast on Ekadashi days and other holy days, and always doing devotional service to Krishna. So these are basic principles of devotional service which one has to follow. So Lord gives option to devotees. Now, if you are not able to fix your mind and intelligence upon me, if you are not able to constantly think of me, you are not able to invest your intelligence unto me, then what you do, you just follow the regulative principles, and one day you will develop a desire to attain me, or develop a taste for serving me. So this is what is happening here. We can see various pictures where devotee is so in an ecstatic mood, chanting or offering prasadam to bhoga to Lord, and also doing. So, yes, Prabhuji, please read this. This is a pictorial analysis of analogies and analysis of verse number 9. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Follow the regulative principle of sadhana bhakti. If one cannot perform the devotional service, then follow the regulative principle of bhakti yoga, and you will develop a desire to attend me. Those who have not developed the attachment for the Krishna, how how to achieve that stage of pure love? Practice the devotional service with the present sense. How to follow the regulation of devotional service? Guidance of Guru. Qualification to practice, anyone can practice. A guarantee of success, there is a surety of love of a Godhead.
So this is a step-by-step explanation. In verse number 8, it was said that think of me always on me in your mind and put your invest your intelligence in me. Investing intelligence in me, Lord, means that do things which are dear to me, do all activities not for which please me, not for your own sense gratification. So that is investing intelligence. That is, we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have to work for Krishna. Everything we do should be such that it pleases Krishna and Krishna is happy. So that is investment of our intelligence. Then follow if we are not able to use our mind and intelligence unto Krishna, then follow regulative principle of Bhakti Yoga. Now, those who are not attached to Krishna, that is, they who have not any emotional or psychological uh, affection or natural love for Krishna or emotional love for Krishna. So, what they should do? How to achieve that stage of pure love? Practice devotional service with present senses. That means use our senses in the external and internal senses in the worship of Lord Krishna. And how to follow regulations of things. So we are in fact not very knowledgeable about the principles of devotional service. So who is going to teach us? A bona fide spiritual master, drawn from a disciplic succession. Not just anyone. We know there are so many gurus these days, but they are not following the principles of devotional service themselves. But one who is Tattvadarshi, who has realized the truth, he is genuine spiritual master, and under the guidance, the progress towards spiritual progress can be very fast. So this is the importance of the guidance of its guru. Then qualification, anybody can practice bhakti in any form, sadhana bhakti, but presence of or the guidance of guru or spiritual master is essential. No caste, creed, nationality bars anybody from taking up devotional service. We know the example of Srila Prabhupada. He made followers or devotees from every continent of the world, of all race, color, creed, nations. And guarantee of success. Now, Lord Krishna has already said that he gives those who surrender to him, he gives them buddhi yoga, dadami buddhi yoga tam. He gives them buddhi yoga, that intelligence, so that they can reach him. Yes, Prabhuji. This is verse number 10.
Yes, Prabhuji. Abhasya pa asmartosi mat karma parmo bhava mat ardham api karmani kurvan siddhyam avapyasi. If you cannot practice the regulation of bhakti yoga, then just try to work for me, because
You will come to the perfect stage. So, abhyase api asmartho asi. If we are unable to do devotional service or that investing your mind and intelligence, external intelligence into internal intelligence or internal sense organs unto me, then mat karma parmo, then do work for me. Mad artham api karmani, because working for me, kurvan siddhim avapyasyasi. Avapyasyasi, that means by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage, and one day you will develop love for me, and then you will start the perfect stage of loving. So how can we work for Krishna? Yes, Prabhuji, how can we work for Krishna?
by performing Prabhuji, by performing uh, seva in temple,
Yes, yes, very nice.
offering foods,
Yeah,
even chanting.
yes. Chanting becomes use of sensor. Working, as you said,
Even
working in
kirtan.
temple, doing deity worship.
May I?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
By surrendering our whole karma in a feet of Krishna consciousness, or say in Krishna.
Yes. Working for Krishna, yes, Mataji, thank you. Working for Krishna means that what he says, that you can do deity worship, you can do temple seva, you can do charity work, you can donate money for construction of a temple or for any other festival. You can donate for prasadam. You can prepare garlands. You can distribute books in Krishna consciousness. We know there is a book distribution activity which takes place in Krishna consciousness book is in ISKCON movement, because they want to publicize the name of Lord, name and form of Lord Krishna to as many people as they can benefit. Because by reading those holy books, everybody is benefited. No comes to know about Krishna. When there is knowledge, then there is natural some kind of inquisitiveness. When inquisitiveness is, there's some kind of attachment develops. So by publishing books, by distribution of books, by doing voluntary seva in a temple, by charity, or by doing sacrifice of penance, keeping fast on Ekadashi or other holy days. So these are all activities which please Krishna. So if you are not able to use your mind intelligence or your sense organs, internal and external, then use your external sense organs like hand and feet, working for activities which please Krishna. So this is, you can see a person is just preparing a pillar of a temple. So he is working for temple. He is also getting the benediction or the benefit of doing a pious activity. This is the chart which shows how to perform for Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. First was perform devotional service, which is the best. And
Yes.
the second is if one cannot worship, use his internal and external sense organs, then he can use, he can work for Krishna, follow the regulatory principle, and if cannot follow the regulatory principle, then work for Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Now how to work for?
How to perform work for Krishna based on 11.55. Sympathetic to the propaganda of Krishna conscious movement. Everyone endeavor meets land, capital, organization, labor, like in any other business, can help to build a temple, help in publication, etc. If one can sacrifice the result of activity, at least sacrifice some percentage of the result.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this is a flow chart right from verse number 8, 9, and 10. So first, the use of internal or external sense organs in performing the devotional service. If one cannot do it, follow the regulatory principles of Bhakti Yoga. If one cannot follow the regulatory principles because of social, family, or other political or other regional reasons, then he can work for Krishna. And how can one work for Krishna? We know ISKCON is an organization which is just devoted for Hare Krishna movement, and which was initiated and trained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So any movement has an organization, and organization has certain functional units within that organization or sub-organization. And these sub-units are manned by certain people, and they need certain resources. So we can finance them. We can provide whatever small, big amount we can donate for such pious activities, because Krishna is pleased when somebody does it. And today happens to be, Akshay Tritiya. And today, if it is said, Lord Krishna says that one who donates some amount, multifold return of it comes back to him. So even, it is a very pious day. Mother Ganges, Annapurna Ma, Parashuram, they all appeared today. Kuber got his designation as chief of the wealth, and Pandavas, when they were leaving for that Agyatwas, sun god gave them the Akshay Patra on this day, and so many Mahabharata ended on Akshay Tritiya day. So it is a most pious day, considered to be many other pious things took place on this day. So this is considered to be. So if we cannot do, maybe a very small amount we can donate to a temple for a good cause, or and we can offer prasadam and distribute prasadam, some things, some charitable activity done as part of duty, not as a part of show, at the right place, at the right person. This will come in the chapters ahead, that charity in mode of goodness must be done as a part of duty, as a sense of duty, not because somebody is saying or somebody wants a publicity in newspaper or something, but it should be done as a part of duty. Number one. Secondly, it should be charity must always be given. This is what Lord Krishna has said: to right person, right place, and at right time. So these three things are there. Here also, this is mentioned that any organization needs some kind of capital because now let us take an example of the temple which is under construction at Kolai, Bengaluru. The land was purchased. The contract for construction was given to certain agency, and raw material, everything had to be purchased. So they need money for it. And this is and so many other activities require money. Can help build a temple or help in publication of books, etc. If one cannot sacrifice result of activities, at least sacrifice some percentage of his results. Now, second option, if one is not able to work for Krishna out of all these things, then in Nishkam, this last block says about Nishkam Karma Yoga, that whatever activities we are doing, we let us offer them, the result of them to Lord Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Pratibha Mataji wanted to read.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji.
अथ एतद् अपि अशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated. Hare Krishna.
So, this is Athet api asakto asi kartum mad yogam ashitaha sarva karma palatyagam. All renounce all the fruits or benefits of our all activities. Tatah kuru yatatma bhavana. So results of your work can be tried to be self-situated. If one is not able to do meditation, one is not able to control his senses, internal and external, not able to perform even any kind of, regulative principle, follow the regulative principle, and not able to even work for Krishna, then what he should do, then at least some results of benefits of his activities may be offered to Krishna. We are doing so many activities, but consciously we are hardly offering the results of activity to Krishna himself. That is you, it is you who has made it happen, and it is your result. So if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. One day, if we give up some fruits to or benefits to, and offer to it Krishna, that it is your prasadam to me for my actions, then one day probably will come when all activities will be just offered to Krishna. This is what is happening here in this picture on right hand side, Mataji. Lord Krishna is born.
Born, and he is giving the donation. He is giving some amount to the other people.
This is Mataji.
Yeah.
Maharaj is there. You can see Nand Maharaj, Yashoda Ma,
Yeah.
charity to all the citizens of Mathura and Vrindavan. So,
Yeah.
because Krishna has come in their home. So at least give up some fruits of our activities. So this is analysis. Yes, Mataji, please continue. Giving up results. So
Giving up results of your work. Perform devotional service. If
yeah.
one cannot, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Work for Krishna. If cannot, then try to give up all results of your work and be self-situated. Giving up results of your work.
Mataji, before this, the top one.
Reasons why one may be unable to sympathize for Krishna consciousness act can be social, familial, religious considerations, or any other impediments. Hence, giving up results of your work, recommendation, sacrifice the accumulated results to some good cause, how that helps? One may gradually elevate to the state of knowledge. Practical examples: social service, community service, national service, etc., may be accepted. Example: charity to hospitals, social institutions. Such sacrifices of hard earned results purify the mind, and one can gradually understand Krishna consciousness.
So this is a gradual development, how from devotional service to Nishkam Karma Yoga, and Nishkam Karma Yoga, then thereafter Nishkam Karma Yoga means that the last block says what kind of activities are one can do. One can do social service, can donate some amount to a hospital, may help a poor patient there, get medicines for him, or maybe feed the poor persons who are hungry and needy, provide some basic amenities or physical items to needy persons. So all these charity works can be ultimately performed. And one, when keeps doing these activities, one becomes gradually elevated to the stage of devotional service, as is mentioned in verse number 8. So it is a gradual process. And so one can take up at any level. If one is practicing devotional service, very fine. One is following regulative principle, very fine. But the ladder is moving from below to up. So one who gradually does practice or abhyas yoga ultimately becomes situated in self, realizes Krishna's consciousness, and ultimately develops some kind of bhava or devotional service, or bhava or prema for Krishna, for doing Krishna services. Yes, Mataji, this is verse number 12.
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागस् त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Sure. So these are a gradual ladder. If one is not able to give up the fruits of his actions, that is, he is not able to perform the Nishkam Karma Yoga, then he must cultivate knowledge. He should, by Gyan Yoga, that is cultivation of knowledge. And if one is better than attaining, because attaining knowledge is immense. Jnana, Krishna's Gyan, one cannot be perfect in gaining complete knowledge about Krishna, his name, form, pastime, or activity or attributes, so immense, limitless. We have seen in chapter 11 that they are all limitless. So it is beyond comprehension. One should not try to. And Krishna himself said, what is the need for knowing all these things in the chapter, end of the chapter 11. So cultivation knowledge is atha, it is immense, it is impossible. So better than cultivation knowledge is meditation, which can be easily. Meditation means meditation on the form of name, form, or pastime, or attribute of Lord Krishna. But meditation, we know, is not recommended for us in this Kali Yuga. Meditation is very difficult. So better than meditation is again renunciation of the fruits of action. That is again coming to Nishkam Karma Yoga. So we renunciate, we renounce the results or benefits of our activities to Krishna and offer it as Krishna, then that is still better. So these are the gradual stages of devotional service, how one can develop. So yes, anybody else would like to read now?
Guji, may I?
Yeah, Mataji.
Cultivation of knowledge. This is devotional service, text 12. Cultivation of knowledge, meditation, and renunciation of fruits. Two. Prabhuji, from where I have to start?
Yeah,
Mind fixed on Krishna?
Yeah, Mataji, 8 verse. Sorry, I missed it. Verse 8, 9, then 10.
Okay.
Then 11, then
Verse
2
8,
lines.
mind fixed on Krishna. Follow regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. work for Krishna, giving up results of your work. If you cannot engage yourself in working for Krishna, cultivation of knowledge, Brahma, Brahmajana, knowledge of soul, result of knowledge, one is understand his real position, knowledge will develop to meditation, then one can gradually understands the
Supreme Personality
SPOG,
of Godhead. Supreme Personality of God.
personality of Godhead. These and why renunciation of fruits is mentioned as better than meditation?
Because
Although karma yoga is the lowest on the yoga ladder, Krishna says that it is the better than meditation because it is more practical and it does not disturb the mind with harsh and impractical requirements of renunciation.
thank you, Bhagvat. So again, the same flow chart is given. Mind and intelligence in Krishna, performing full devotional service, verse 8. Verse 9 says, follow the principles of sadhana bhakti. If you are not able to use your senses, divert your mind and intelligence towards Krishna consciousness, follow the regulatory principle. If you are not able to follow the regulatory principles, which were mentioned, the cause was mentioned, but regional, familial, political, social, or other causes, then just work for Krishna. If one cannot work for Krishna, then give up the results, perform Nishkam Karma Yoga, which is within one's own head. If one cannot work for Krishna, then he should cultivate knowledge, jnana, but we know that jnana, attaining jnana in one life is impossible. So better than jnana, attaining the knowledge is better doing meditation. If one is not able to do meditation even, then he should basically do the renunciation. Renunciation, again, same thing, renunciation of all items which are not required for service of Krishna, renunciation of those items. Atyahar, prajalpa, prayasasya. So these are certain activities which are prohibited, which spoil our devotional services. Or bhakti, there are 6 barriers in bhakti. If we eat too much, we talk too much, we eat, sleep too much. So such things are, in fact, impediments in our devotional service. So renunciation of these activities, which are impediments or obstructions in the path of devotional service, that is recommended here. And renunciation of all that is not can be all that cannot be used in the service of Lord, that is the one. So this is something, if one wants to be Krishna conscious, then he has to take up all these things. This is mentioned in the verse number 12. So we move on to next verse. So
Prabhuji, what is SPOG SPOG?
it's Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay,
Because
Supreme
it is a
Personality
big
of
word, so
God.
they have made an
Okay.
abbreviation as
Yeah, just before you said, but I did not focus upon.
it is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Thank you. So we have this is verse number 12. So progressive stages of devotion, the final chart is given here. Topmost stage, yes, Mataji.
Progressive stages of devotion. Bhagavad Gita 12.8. Mind fixed on Krishna. Result will live in relationship with Krishna. 12.9. Follow regulative principles of sadhana bhakti. Result develop desire to attain Krishna. 12.10. Work for Krishna will stage of devotional service. 12.11.12. Renunciation, cultivation of knowledge and meditation. Result purification, peace, and gradual elevation. Hare Krishna.
So let us move from the bottom, in fact. If one develops renunciation, cultivation of knowledge, and does meditation, this is in fact reverse of the first is cultivation of knowledge, not able to do meditation, not able to do renunciation. The outcome is one becomes internally and externally purified. and the mind is peaceful and the senses are stable. They are within under control or they come under control. But this happens gradually. Then when person attains this stage, thereafter he thinks of working for Krishna. We know what we have discussed, that what does it mean? When working for Krishna, again develops some kind of interest and attachment and wants to serve Krishna directly thereafter. So when one uh, is contented by working for Krishna or is happy, then he moves ahead, he tries to follow the regulative principle of sadhana bhakti. He takes shelter of a pure devotee or a spiritual master, and then he develops desire to attain Krishna. And when one develops desire, because we know unless we have a desire, we cannot achieve anything. We have to make a certain plan. We have to show certain intent of our own for doing anything. When there is an intention to attain Krishna, then what happens? We live in relationship with God. Try to find out how to live, and that is the door of pure devotional service. And how to do it? Always contemplating of Krishna, that is in the mind, using this is our inner sense, and also investing all our intelligence in Krishna only. So doing whatever is pleases Krishna, whatever is in fact not for self-sense gratification, but Krishna's sense gratification or Krishna's sense pleasure, that becomes the goal of life. So that is both the highest stage of pure devotional service. So Lord has given, it is a direct, in fact, instruction for all of us, that what makes us, what Lord wants, what kind of devotional service we are doing. It needs an introspection, and accordingly we should move ahead. Now, we should not stay at where we are at the moment. We should move ahead, try ahead, because life is very short, in fact. And I mentioned that from sadhana, samanya bhakti to sadhana bhakti, and sadhana bhakti, two classes again, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. So we have to develop some kind of attachment, emotional relationship with Krishna, or natural affection for Krishna. This is part of Raganuga bhakti. When Raganuga bhakti or Vaidhi bhakti, they are progressive stage. So one attains Raganuga bhakti, thereafter a stage of Bhava bhakti develops, and ultimately Prema bhakti. So Prema bhakti or pure devotional service is the highest form of, though it is very difficult to attain, but Bhava bhakti stage, one, if has concerted effort and is dedicated, can attain. Now this verse 12.13 to 20, which is the section C, last section, qualities that endears one to Krishna from highest to lowest. As I mentioned, that there are two categories of qualities which make one dear to Krishna. Krishna loves those qualities. First primary quality is devotional service, pure devotional service, with him, which he has just now described in verse number 8 and 9. So, and the rest of the qualities which are mentioned are attributes of a pure devotee, which make devotee dear to Krishna. They are secondary attributes or qualities. So, yes, Mataji, 13, 14. Shri Mataji, give a reading.
One who is not envious but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
So these are 14 qualities which are mentioned in verse 12.13 and 14. First quality is being not envious towards anyone, including the envious person who is, we know there are certain people who are envious to us because probably we are slightly different from them, maybe in a higher position or at some or other level. So one has to become, one should not be envious to even such persons who has envious us. Second quality is mentioned, friendly of Maitra. Maitra is that is friendly to all. That means friendly to all means non-violent also, not causing any violence, any kind of violence to anyone by word, action, or deed. So one has to then kind and merciful to all, especially particularly to animals, then free from sense of proprietorship, nirmama, that is nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna. So this is sense of proprietorship. But then free from false ego. False ego means that I am body, I am doctor, I am the collector, I am this manager, or I'm at a senior position, I got a very good house, I've got so many cars, or so beautiful latest model of phone or something. So this is false ego, because nothing belongs to us. We are not this body. We always say that my name is such and such, but that means name is different from what I am. That is why there is a difference between this is my body. That means I am different from my body, but what I am really soul. So this is false ego, definition of false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress. In fact, that is a state of equanimity. One is not disturbed by the duality of life. Who is tolerant? Tolerant, we know we are very short-tempered. Sometimes, as soon as we listen our criticism, it may be even correct. Somebody is telling something which is true, literally true for us, but we are not prepared to listen such persons. So we are not tolerant. Tolerant tree is said to be the most tolerant because it you can cut it, it does not respond in any manner. Others are not so tolerant. Tolerant like a tree, and also tolerant like a grass, because we put a foot on the grass bends down completely, is crushed, but again as you lift up foot, the grass rises up gradually with wind. So grass is also said to be very tolerant. Always satisfied, contented. Whatever we have, it is Lord's mercy. Not being disturbed and not a desire for having more and more. Self-controlled, we know what does it mean. Control of sense and mind and intelligence also. And engaged in devotional service with determination. Unflinching faith and of course determination, Dhrana Nishchaya. That is the meaning of it. That if one has decided to get up in the early morning and attend the Mangala Arati or do Japam or do Mahamantra Japam in the early hours of morning, then whatever happens, however late one might sleep, he gets up at the appointed time. And so and we know all these qualities were present in Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 69, and what he did for the Krishna conscious movement, we know, because he possessed all these qualities. And also the mercy of Krishna was always with him, because he was always immersed in his mind and intelligence was always fixed on Krishna. Whatever we thought, whatever he did, he used to sleep 2 hours at the most, 2 to 4 hours only. He used to eat very little food. And this is how he was a Paramahansa Mahatma. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So these are the qualities which make one dear and dear, which endear one to Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Advaita. These words which have been used are described here. Advaita means being not envious. Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Srila Mataji, are you there? Or anybody else would like to?
Hello. Hare
Are you
Krishna.
there,
Prabhuji.
Mataji?
May I
Yes,
continue?
please continue. I thought you had not.
Devotional service takes all sufferings as Krishna's kindness to avoid reaction.
Yeah, first is Advaita. Verse number
Advaita.
13, 14. Some words, key
Advaita.
words have been picked up, which are defined here.
Non-envious, kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Considers all reactions as result of one's past misdeeds. Reference 10.14.8. Take distress as the Lord's mercy. I deserve much more. Santushta. Satisfied whatever comes by Lord's grace, does not over endeavor to achieve something. Nirmamo. No sense of proprietorship. Devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and troubles of the body, free from false ego, equipo- poised in happiness and distress, dharya, nischay,
firm determination.
tolerant, never disturbed by any circumstances,
Yatatma.
yatatma, self-controlled, completely perfect mistakes because completely fixed in instructions of a spiritual master, my
By
arpita manu buddhi.
Arpita Manupati. So these are key terms which have been picked up to define certain qualities which make one dear to Krishna from 1314. So the word here it has been used Tatte Anukampa. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 14. Yes, Mataji. Tatte Anukampam So Samiksham Vano Bahujana
Guruji, may I read English part? Tatte tatte nukampah su samikshamano bhunjana evatma karyam vipakam hardavag vapurvir vidanand name namaste jivata yo mukti pada sa daya bhaka. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisance with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Thought process of devotees in a distressful condition. What is the thought process? He thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. How this is Lord's mercy? He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I am suffering now. By Lord mercy, I am not getting all the punishment I am due, just getting a little. He thinks this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds, so it is better to suffer than to protest, instrument of my karma. What is the result of thinking this way? This is always calm, quiet, and patient despite many distortions, not of anyone or disturbed by their behavior or become his enemy's enemy. He becomes eligible for liberation.
So
This is wonderful.
this is a downward psychological process which takes in the mind of all of us. Now, whenever we are in trouble, we immediately react. We start blaming someone that it is because of him that has happened. But if what happens, the psychology of a pure devotee, his thought process, that if he becomes, devotees are always subjected to so many trials and tribulations, and also sometimes so many sufferings and distress also. So Lord is testing our devotion in that way, basically. So if a pure devotee gets his suffering, he remains stable. He thinks that, oh, I must have done something wrong in my previous janma, or maybe in this birth, that this punishment has been awarded to me. But Lord is grateful to me because he has not given a much harsh or major punishment as compared to what I am really suffering at the moment. So he becomes composed. He is not disturbed. He tolerates that distress or misery, and thanks God again that God, you are great. My offense was much bigger, but the punishment you have given is just very minor. So he accepts that punishment as a gift of Lord, not as a punishment. So I'm not getting all the punishment that I'm due, just getting a little. He thinks this person acting as my enemy. Now, there are people who are envious. So probably he does not feel even envious to his enemy, or he does not react to his enemy who are envious to him. He thinks probably there is something wrong with me. That is why this person is wrong. That is why this person is envious of me. Probably he finds fault in himself, not in the other person who is envious. So what is the result of a devotee under these circumstances thinks? Now we know sometimes there is an accident. Immediately, if somebody if there is a car accident and the occupants of the car, driver or the owner, somebody, he gets minor hurt, then he thanks God. Oh Lord, you are very kind to me. I escaped, but just with minor injury, something much worse could have happened. So this attitude has to be developed. And what is the outcome of developing such an attitude? Who is a pure devotee? He remains calm and quiet, patient, is not affected by that misery or that injury or that kind of condition. And nor he is ever envious, because he finds fault within himself, not in others. So such a person becomes eligible for liberation. This is the mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Mataji. After 15, anybody else would like to?
Manodvijate, loko lokanodvijate, chaya, harsha, marshabhayo, dvegya muktayo, ya sa cha me priyah. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anxiety, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me.
So for whom no one is put into difficulty, that means he is merciful, kind to everybody. He is not, does not cause any kind of hurt. That is, he is non-violent, and who is not disturbed by anxiety. That means he is equipoised and in a state of equanimity always. He accepts every adverse condition as prasadam of Lord for his own activities, not starts blaming Lord Krishna that it is why I am suffering. He thinks that no, because I have done some wrong in my life which I do not know or remember, I am suffering. Who is steady in happiness, that is equanimity, is very dear to me. So these are certain qualities which are mentioned here, which are dear, which make one dear to Krishna. Anyone else would like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Devotional service, text 50. Never causes distress to others. Not yet affected by others, because devotee is always engrossed in Krishna consciousness. Material circumstances cannot move him, not disturbed by anyone. Such a stage is obtained by Lord's grace.
Does not affect others.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Does not affect others. No one is put into anxiety, difficulty, fearfulness, or dissatisfaction by such a devotee, because he is kind to everyone. Hare Krishna.
So never causes distress to others. This is further explained here, that not gets affected by others, or not get does not affect others. So let us take how one does not affect others. No one is put into anxiety, difficulty, fearfulness, dissatisfaction by such a devotee, because he is kind to everyone. So this kindness of being merciful and being in fact non-violent, the result is person does not harm anybody, because he is always engrossed in Krishna conscious activities. And all Krishna conscious activities are aimed at pleasing Krishna, doing for the pleasure activities for Krishna. So nobody else gets affected by those activities, because such person does not cause any kind of distress or anxiety to others. It does not cause any kind of hurt or misery to others. Then comes those not get affected by others. That means he is equipoised, he is not moved by any adversities, or does not get affected by dualities of life, like happiness and sorrow, loss or gain, victory or loss, or such kind of contradictory situation. they do not affect such a person. So because that he thinks everything, uh, his all senses are always engaged in performing Krishna conscious activities. So, and they become transcendental. So he's not affected by those material things. And such a state is obtained by Lord's grace. But how one can, we are mundane people, we are living in mortals, and we are living in this world. So we are subject to normally subject to different kind of actions and reaction. We tend to react to certain circumstances. But we think that it is just Lord Krishna's mercy, Lord Krishna's will that is happening to me, then person does not get affected. So such a devotee qualifies Lord's grace. Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Anapeksha
yes,
Visityaksha. Yes, Chanda Mataji.
just a minute. Yes. अन्नपेक्षस्तु चर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्व सर्व सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः. A devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and who does not strive for some result is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we'll take word by word. Anapeksha Suchir Daksha. Anapeksha means person is having no apeksha or no desires or no expectations. He is neutral because he is not dependent on ordinary course of activities. So such person, money may be offered to a devotee, but he does not struggle to acquire it. So he is anapeksha. मिल गया तो ठीक है, नहीं मिल गया कोई बात नहीं. Suchir means pure. Purity is two types, internal purity and external purity. We know keeping body clean, putting on clean dress after taking bath, fresh dress, and internal purity of mind and soul or intelligence by chanting of holy name of Lord Krishna and doing eating prasadam and also fasting. So these are purity. And Daksh, third word used is that Daksh, he is expert. Expert in what? He fully knows that what he is doing. All the activities which he performs, he knows that he is performing them for Krishna. So he is Daksh or expert. Udasino. Udasino again means he is indifferent. Udasino means that he is neutral and also indifferent to some kind of opposite circumstances. Udasina Gat Vyatha, he is not affected by any kind of distress, misery, or pain. Gat Vyatha, Gat means beyond, Vyatha means that misery or pain. Sarvarambha Parityagi, Sarvarambha means free from all kind of activities. Because activities, free from all type of activities means free from all type of activities which are done for self-sense gratification, which are not done for Krishna. So he's from such all activities. That means he performs all activities which please Krishna. Yo mad bhakta same priya. Such a devotee is very dear to. So this is Lord's such beautiful words, and you can see here this. Who are these persons? Does anybody know? Bilwa Mangal Thakur, and perhaps the prostitute who later became devotee. So this is the picture. Yeah, yes, Mataji. Well, you know,
Yes,
Shanti is the best.
यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभा शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः. One who neither grasps pleasure or grief, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Yuna Krishnati na dveshati means one who, when he gains something, does not becomes rejoices that gains or does not grieve. Dveshati means he does not grieve for material gain or loss. Na shochati na kankshati, that means neither limits nor desires any. Shochati means shok, he doesn't do shok. Shochati means does not do any kind of lamentation, and kankshati means he has no akanksha. He does not desire for anything. Subha, Shubha, Subha, Shubha, Parityagi, Shubh or Ashubh, whatever happens to him, he does not get affected by all these conditions. So that means he is indifferent, he is transcendental to whatever is auspicious and inauspicious and also sinful act. So Bhaktiman Ya Same, Bhaktiman means devotee. Such a devotee is very dear to me. This is essential quality of a pure devotee. So Lord Krishna says, such a devotee is very dear to me. So this is the definition. Krishna with Sudama here. Yes, Mataji. Neither
A
rejoices.
devotional service unaffected by material emotions. Never rejoices, not grieves over material gain or loss. Neither laments nor desire, not anxious to get a son or a disciple, not laments by not getting them. Transcendental in space of all kinds of auspicious and inauspicious and sinful act. Prepared to accept all kind of risk for Lord's satisfaction. Nothing is an independent, nay, sorry,
Impediment.
nothing is an impediment in the discharge of devotional service. Bhaktiman means devotee, the most essential quality from which all other qualities appear.
So we have seen the Sochati, na Kankshati, na Hishati, na Dveshati, neither rejoices nor grieves over gain or loss, neither laments nor desires anything for any material gain or loss, and he is transcendental to all such conditions. Shubha Shubha Parityagi, Shubha Shubha Parityagi, that means he is abundance all auspicious and inauspicious things. That is in a state of, not in a mode of goodness. He is in a sattva state. He is in a higher state, transcendental state. And he prepares to all kind of this for Lord's satisfaction. That means there may be criticism at home in keeping fast or getting up in the morning, but he is determined. So he is prepared to accept the criticism of other family members. Now, eating is sometimes when there is joint family, following the regulatory principle of not eating garlic and onion becomes a problem. So, but such person is not affected by this kind of environment even. Nothing is an impediment in this, but since he is a determined or dhrada nishcha is there, a firm determination is there, such a devotee, Lord Krishna calls such a devotee as Bhaktiman. Bhaktiman, such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Yes, these last three verses now we'll finish today. Samasat.
Samashat, Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha manappamanyoः शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखेषु समस्त सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टायेन केनचित् अनिकेतस्थिरमतिर्भक्ति मान मे प्रियो नरः. One who is full and equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contamination, always silent and satisfied and with anything, who does not care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and engaged in devotional service is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
So now we come to I said that there is primary characteristic which makes one dear to Krishna. Krishna says in the last word, Bhaktiman me priyo aniketa sthir matir bhaktiman me priyo naraha. The person who engages himself in devotional service mindedly is very dear to me. So this is the final verdict. And before that, what are the secondary qualities? He is equal to friends and enemies, equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, always free from contamination. From contamination, it means here from material contamination. That is a three modes of material nature, that is goodness, passion, and ignorance. They contaminate our soul. So one has to become free from those kind of aspects, always silent and satisfied with anything. Whatever Lord gives, he is satisfied, considers it that Lord is giving me more than I actually deserve. And so much satisfied. Who doesn't care for any residence? Wherever Lord keeps him, he is happy. Because we know Goswamis of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana, they did not have any residence. They just built some kind of, hut or used to meditate or reside under the shade of a tree. And who is fixed in knowledge. Knowledge, fixed in knowledge means that Krishna is Ishvara Param Krishna. He knows that Ishvara and Krishna is the Adi Purush, the one person. This is the knowledge, and knowledge also means that I am part and parcel of Lord and servitor of Lord, that I am not body, I am soul. And engaged in devotional service is very dear to me. So Krishna has finally mentioned, yes, Mataji, Sama Satrao Chamitra Cha.
Yes, Prabhu. Devotional, am I reading correct? Yes. Devotional service, unaffected by material emotions. So here we have samast satro cha mitro cha, equal to friends and enemies. Mana pamanyo hu, equipoised in dualities. Samas vivarjita, always free from contaminating association.
Just hold on, Mataji.
Aniketah,
But just a minute. Sangha Vivarjita, always free from contaminating association. That means association of devotees only, association of Krishna persons only. But we are living in workplace and home place. Maybe there are many people who are not in Krishna consciousness. So, but we have to keep contact or relationship with other people who are not Krishna consciousness, who are not devotees, non-devotees, to the extent is very essential, not more than that. So because their contamination, a person is known by the company he keeps. If we become friendly to them, we follow their habits, sometimes we may fall down from our devotional service. So that is important. Sangha Vivarjita, always free from contaminating association. Yes, Mataji, now.
yes, Prabhuji. Aniketah does not care for any residence. Mauni, silence implies is to speak only essential, not most. Sorry. Silence implies to speak only essential, most essential speech, to speak of Supreme Lord. Then santushto yena kenachit, satisfied, happy in all conditions. Sometimes get palatable food and sometimes not. Sthira matir, fixed in determination and knowledge. Bhakti mana, always engaged in devotional service. Krishna consciousness and good qualification. One who wants to be recognized as devotee should develop all good qualifications. Of course, one does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications because engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps one develop them. One who is not a devotee has no good qualifications.
Thank you. So these terms are explained here, right from Samaya Satru Literature. Manapmanyuhu, Sangha Vivarjita, Aniketa, Moni, and Santushto and Kenachit, Sthir Matir and Bhaktiman. Now, these good qualities have to be developed by a devotee. But a Krishna consciousness person, there is no external effort, extraneously endeavor to acquire these. One does not have to do any extra effort or outside effort to obtain. They are not, these qualities are not available outside. They are the qualities which can be developed within the mind of a, or the heart of a devotee himself. So, but if when one comes in Krishna consciousness, these qualities develop by themselves. Because in the association of pure devotees, under guidance and instructions of spiritual master, one develops all these qualities in Krishna consciousness. One who is not a devotee has no good qualification. So this is the mahima of a pure devotee, which is mentioned in verse 18-19, that pure devotee, when he is in Krishna consciousness, he becomes purified internally, externally, develops good qualities, which are mentioned here. These 14 qualities were mentioned in verse number 13, 14. 16 qualities were mentioned in verse 13, 14. And again from 15 to 16, 17, 18, all these qualities are there. And one who develops these qualities or possesses is very dear to Krishna. Yes, Mataji, 1, 2, 3 more.
Yes, Prabhuji. Summary of the qualities, verse 12, 13 to 19. 12.13 to 19. Qualification that endures one to Krishna. Tatastha Lakshmanam.
Tatast
Tatast
Lakshman. We know
Lakshman.
Tatast. Where was this word used? Tatast.
Not really remember.
Tatast, marginal. We are marginal. We are part of the marginal potency of Lord. Tatast.
Ancillary.
Ancillary, yes.
These qualities are not independent of bhakti. They automatically result from surrender to Krishna. Swarupa Lakshmana, essential. Bhakti manam, bhakti mana, devotee. Bhakti manam is devotee, the most essential quality from which all other qualities appear. Attitude towards oneself. Nirmama, free from sense of proprietorship, free from false ego, knows that I am not the body. Gata Vathaha, pain-free. Sarvarambha Parityagi, free from all endeavors. Dealing with other living entities, non-envious, kind to everyone, even to his enemy, equal to friends and enemies. Udasina, without cares, always free from contaminating association, silence. Reaction when things happen to him. Satisfied, tolerant, daksha, expert, self-controlled, completely perfect, mystic, equipoised in happiness and distress. Anapeksha, neutral. Suchiha means pure, neither rejoices nor grieves over material gain or loss, neither lament nor desires, transcendental in face of all kind of auspicious, inauspicious and sinful act, equipoised in dualities. Dealings with the Lord, determined, mind and intelligence fixed entirely on the Supreme Lord, engaged in devotional service, fixed.
So there are qualities that endears one. So there are two categories. One is Swarup Lakshan and the other is Tatastha Lakshan. Swarup Lakshan is one only, and that is pure devotional service. A pure devotee who is engaged in pure devotional service is first preference of Lord Krishna. Krishna loves such person very much. That other qualities are ancillary or supportive qualities, and these qualities are described under, classified under four heads. First is attitude towards oneself, dealing with other living entities. Third is reaction when things happen to him, and lastly, what is he dealing towards the Lord. So these qualities are classified here. We have already discussed, but point to remember here is that Krishna loves those persons who have got these. First is Swarup Lakshan, and Swarup Lakshan means Krishna loves primary quality of devotional service. And there are Tatastha Lakshanam, the Tatastha features, or these are ancillary features. They are supportive in nature. They help person developing devotional service. So this is last verse, Mataji. This is very, very nice. Yes, Channa Mataji. Or anyone?
Yes,
Anyone who has not read so far?
Ye dharma.
Yes, Mataji, please continue. Etu
Continue.
dharmatmam.
Ye tu dharmamritam. Ye tu dharmamritamidam. Yathoktam paryupasate. Shraddha मत परमा भक्तास्ते अतीव मे प्रियः. He who follows his imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very, very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Bhaktaste ativ me priya. Ativ me priya. Who is most dear? Very, very dear. Who is, what is happening here in the picture, Chanda Mataji?
This is Krishna and Prabhuji. The name is Nam.
Yeah, Bilwa
Who?
Mangal. Krishna himself, he used to
Durga.
Mangal Thakur story, all of us know. In fact, we have repeated many times. Well, Krishna used to come to listen to his kirtan while, in fact, he was singing. And he is a blind, he can't see who is sitting before him. So he says, such a devotee who is with whole heart, who is not thinking of anything else except me always. He blinded himself, that because of his wicked behavior. He didn't want, he did it atonement or prayashchit, and then he developed this kind of intense, pure devotional service of bhakti, and Krishna used to come and listen to his kirtan. So such a devotee is very, very, he who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal. So Krishna is to be made a supreme goal in our life. That is what Krishna. And what are those qualities which makes one dear to Krishna? One is Swarup Lakshan, the other is Tatastha Lakshan. Tatastha Lakshan are supportive. There are many, many, being friendly, kind, neutral, equipoised, indifferent, udasin, shubha shubha parityagi, without any care for residence, being equal to us. So these are supportive. But pure devotional service, a person engaged in Swarup Lakshan develops all these quality naturally. It doesn't have to make any extra effort for developing this quality. So this is the end of chapter 20. Yes, please summarize it here. Supreme goal of life is Krishna. Then such a devotee is very dear to Krishna. Very, very dear to Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Are you there?
Yes. Should I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. 20. This summary chart.
Devotional service. Devotional service. Dearest of all is one who makes Krishna as the goal of his life. They follow this imperishable path of devotional service, make Krishna as supreme goal of their life, completely engage themselves with faith. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So the verdict, ultimate verdict is where we have to make Krishna as our ultimate goal of life. Not that just we do devotional service or we are part-time bhaktas. Every time we are bhakta of Krishna, we are always thinking of Krishna, we are doing everything for Krishna, we are always meditating on his name, form, we are always hearing or listening also about Krishna only, and we are not in a company which is full of non-devotees. So this Krishna says that those person who makes, earlier he was saying, Same Bhakta Priya, such a devotee is dear to me. But in the end he says, one who makes me as supreme goal of his life is very dear to me. This is Atib. He has used this word, Atib me Priya. Bhaktasthi Atib me Priya. Atib means he is very, very dear. He is most dear to me. So we have to make our case Krishna is our goal of life and do everything for Krishna every time. Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji. So I'm sorry it got quite again extended from within the beyond the time. My apologies to all of you, but it had to be finished today. Any questions or any doubts very quickly? If one would like to add something or say something or modify something or correct me something, please. And indication here is Srila Prabhupada. He was always thinking Krishna, he was sleeping Krishna, he was eating Krishna, he was talking Krishna only, while walking, sleeping, everything he was doing for Krishna only. And he made Krishna a supreme goal of his life. So Krishna, such a devotee is, and Srila Prabhupada has assured his devotees that I can guarantee if you follow my path, if you follow my instructions on devotional service, I give you guarantee of entry, your entry through back door to Goloka Vrindavana. That is his assurance, Srila Prabhupada, such a pure devotee. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Anybody would like to say?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maji. Anybody would like
Thank
to
you,
take
brother.
closing prayer? I've shared the link. The last one, the ISKCON Desire Tree. Those prayers, in fact, are in order in which we normally practice. So please go through the last link. That is very good. I also, in fact, follow that link.
Oh, thank you for that,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. So Vancha Kalp Tarubhyascha Krapa Sindhuva Eva Jaya Patita Nam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Anatikot Vaishnava ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Srimad Bhagvat Gita ki jai Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji Danvat Pranam.
Prabhuji,
Thank you for your
please
appreciation.
resend that link, attendance link.
Attendance link. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you,
send it.
Prabhuji. Dandavat
Thank you,
pranam.
Mataji. Danvat Pranam. I'll send just now again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna
pranam.
Mataji. Pranam. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I have posted it
Yes.
again. Please check this.
Yes, Prabhuji, received.
Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
The next class on Monday, I shall be out of station for a, I will rather traveling on Monday evening. So Monday may not be a class. So we will meet on Tuesday. Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.